Super Lois season 3, Flash season 9, and Gotham Knight season 1, the new series, and the announcement that Riverdale season 7 will officially be the final season of the show. But once again, we need to look at behave. We
Sorry.
need to look at the terminology here, which is the fact that the Riverdale wasn't canceled.
Nope.
The contracts for some of these actors are running out. Many of them had said that they were ready to leave, move on and do different things after the series. So this was decided to be the final year for the show, and it will be coming out in 2023. We do not have any premiere dates. We do not have any episode order amount because most of these seasons, the writers' room have not even reconvened yet for this. I think they probably have some ideas what they're doing for these respective seasons, but like for Flash and Supernovas, they're still airing. So
in terms of, and I'll pull it up real quick. In terms of this mid-season stuff that we're discussing here, in terms of Gotham Knights, Flash, and Superman and Lois, it's interesting because we're not used to this. We're not used to, especially Superman and Lois, and especially Flash. How many years it's been airing? Of course, 8. We're so used to that show starting in the fall. And then having, of course, ending in the spring and then coming back in the fall. And for us to have to wait, even though these shows are, of course, Superman, Lois, Flash are going into June, it makes sense. Because who knows when they're going to start shooting? Probably in the summer. That's the guess.
Actually, Danielle Panabaker, she said something on Instagram the other day that she believes that they're actually starting in the fall this time.
So giving them more of a break because they actually filmed probably longer than normal. Yeah, they did. Because they were still shooting a few weeks ago. Or some of them were.
They just wrapped like on the 27th of April. So because they were initially supposed to have 18 episodes, and then they got picked up for another 2 episodes, and so they it got a little bit longer. Or no, actually, it was always supposed to end at the end of April. So I don't know what the whole thing was, but this is new.
Yeah, maybe they just had more time, or maybe they knew they were going to get a season 9, and they thought, let's just give it an even 20. I don't know, but that's interesting. But hey, it gives them more time off. They don't have to start back until September, October-ish.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think it's interesting that they're doing this, but I mean, I think it's going to work out schedule-wise because we had the schedule here for the fall. There's no place for those 3 shows. There's no place for Gotham Knights, Flash, or Superman and Lois with that schedule. So it makes sense. I mean, unless they would have moved some of this stuff around.
It's about priority, though, and I think that's the thing. Because the thing is that if they wanted, they could have made sure that these shows are back at filming by the time, so they can have new episodes rolling on in the fall. But I think because of that, believe it, because people don't like to believe this, but the pandemic is still going on. Like, believe it or not, it's still going on. And so I think they're probably trying to think, like it has been 2 very intense years, especially for the shows that are more popular, long running, and so on. And I will say this, and because we will talk about a little bit Gotham Knights after this, but I'm genuinely surprised that a pilot that just finished filming 2 weeks ago or something is still being slated for mid-season.
Well, I'm also wondering if because they're going to start shooting, I'm guessing, in the fall as well. Maybe.
Usually with pilots, what they do is that they film the pilot for like at least 2 or 3 weeks, and then they kind of come back around July or August, and then they start. Then that's when they shoot like 2, 3.
They might start shooting sooner because all we know is they have a pickup for 13 episodes is the minimum.
Yeah, unless there's something behind the seat that has changed where they're like now like the minimum you get at least is 10 episodes or something. But I was honestly thinking that maybe because all these 3 pilots filmed around the same time, so I was like, okay, so they're gonna premiere all their 3 new shows in the fall, or they're gonna save one of the new like maybe Supernatural Winchester, or because Winchester's is part of our franchise is so massive for CW that I was a little bit surprised. But for Flash, because I spoke to Eric Wallace just a couple of days ago. The link, there's lots of links in the show notes, guys. So go click, do things. But I interviewed him for his episode Into the Still Force that he directed. But we also talked about season 8, and he did give some tidbits about season 9. So, but if you want to know what those are, you're gonna have to click on that video below. But it sounds like they are definitely looking at wanting to maybe do things a little bit different for the next season. And I think that's why starting a bit later might also benefit them in terms of like having a more consistent schedule, because I think because of Armageddon, I think so much got jumbled around because they shot out of order a lot of things, because like Chris Williams, who plays Black Lightning, of course, he would come in, and I think like even though he wasn't even episode 1, they were filming stuff like early on because of his schedule. So
Yeah.
same thing with Kyler Lee and with Javicia and so on. So I think Armageddon, as great as it was, I think it did jumble that production schedule a little bit. So yeah, I think this worked, and they haven't even decided yet on how many episodes season 9 is going to have.
Well, I'm also thinking too, with the later start, it gives them more time to flesh out the next seasons of these shows. For Gotham Knights is the first season, but I'm wondering. I think Gotham Knights probably going to start shooting sooner, maybe just so they're kind of ahead. And because if they have less episodes to shoot, if they get ahead and start shooting ahead, then there's not, then there's less, that like they don't have to wait to start shooting. They can actually just get to it, get it done. Unless there's like a time jump after the pilot to the second episode in terms of timeline that they can do that. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, so the mid-season stuff. Let's get into those synopses.
Yeah, well, actually, we're gonna stay on the Flash for a little second because so Mark Pedowitz, who is the president of the CW, he had held his usual conference call with a bunch of reporters, and of course, Flash in 9 came up as discussion point, and they were asked, is it going to be the final season or not? And as of yesterday, May 19th, at 19, yeah. Oh my God, I'm losing track of dates. And Mark Pedowitz said that when it comes to the Flash season 9, what to do and how to do, we have a lot of questions about how to go forward. We have not made any determination, nor has the studio. So for I know there's been reputable sources, or in this case, mostly just the Hollywood Reporter, saying that they're looking to do like an every abbreviated final season. The thing is, a lot of these things can always change so much, very last second or whatever. And I think there's a lot of conversation because I genuinely think there is a chance that we can get to season 10. I think that if we're doing fewer episodes, like even less than 20, like in 18, if we're doing 50, because at this point, by the time season 9 has finished airing, if it only has 15 episodes, they're going to basically just be 16 or 17 away from getting to 200. And people love syndication numbers. They love to have those big milestones, and also reaching those goals, be able to say Small will run for 10 seasons, Supernatural ran for 25, 40, I don't know, maybe 600 seasons, I don't know. And so and I could see Flash, like depending on what all the actors wants, what Eric wants, what Greg Blandy wants, but I think again, like I think that this time, like if we haven't heard anything by 901, I think there's a very strong chance that they're looking at doing a season 10, just to kind of see, like, well, let's just play out season 9, see how people are kind of get a little feel for what people are saying, but still kind of have in mind like that 9/15, if let's say we do get 15 episodes, that could serve as a series finale, or at least being like it's a finale where like there's no cliffhangers, there are no like what ifs or buts, but like, it will be wrapped and done. But then they could come back for another season if that's what they choose to do. Just Jordan, what are your thoughts on
I think your assessment of if we don't hear anything by the season 9 premiere, that's that makes a lot of sense. Like, why would they wait till when the show's, because the CW wants to let people know ahead of time when a show's ending. Like, they don't want to like just throw it at you. Like, oh, by the way, it's the final. Like, traditionally, like in terms of networks in general, they don't want to like surprise fans. Like, oh, by the way, we're in the middle of this season. It's the final one. They want to announce ahead of time. So I would assume with how good the Flash has done in terms of like numbers and how it's done really well for the network overall, when you look at the bigger picture of what the Flash has done for the CW, I feel that they would try to come to a decision on when it's ending versus just canceling it or not telling them until they're halfway through a season, oh, by the way, you're not getting picked up. I feel like with how good the show's done, that they would at least give them that courtesy. They should get that courtesy for everybody, but you get my point. I feel that they're going to do a season 10 just to have the 10 and then just done. But really, it really depends on Grant Gustin. If he doesn't want to do it, they're not going to. I just don't see how they would pull it off. Because, I mean, we had discussed, was it last week's episode before, where there was a discussion at a panel where Brainiac 5 himself was saying how they pitched a season 7 of Supergirl without Supergirl. I just don't know how the Flash season 10 would go if there was no Grant Gustin.
No, there would be no season 10. That if they want to do something else with other characters, they will be spin-offs. But they like the Flash won't
all
star.
comes down to Grant.
Yeah, unless they like if they want to do something like Wally West takes over as the fighter and stuff. But at this point, it's like when you're in a season, like even if you have a new character taking over and there's new stories to tell, they're still dealing with a season 10. But it's better to just start as a new show. And but we will see what happens. But when that news comes, it will come directly from CW and Warner Brothers. So we're gonna move in now to and God Christ help me, because Jordan and y'all are gonna like just okay, calm down, calm down.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited though.
Are you finished?
Yes.
I'm like Black Panther. I'm like, are you done? Are you finished? No, I'm kidding. So Gotham Knight, ladies and gentlemen, is going forward. It's been picked up the series, and it's going to happen in mid-season. Oh, thank you. I am amazing. And we got to, while the trailer wasn't released, they did show a little footage for people who were at the Upfront presentation, and this is how they have also given us a new synopsis that kind of gives a little more details about the show. So I'm just gonna remove the logo just for 1 second so Andy can read his poorly sized text. Batman is dead, and a powder keg has ignited Gotham City without the Dark Knight to protect it. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his adopted son, Turner Hayes, Oscar Morgan, is framed for killing the Cape Crusade along with the children of some of Batman's enemies. Duella, Olivia Rose Keegan, an unpredictable fighter and skilled thief who was born in Arkham Asylum and abandoned by her father. Harper Row, Fallon Smythe, a streetwise and acrobatic engineer who can fix anything, and her brother Cullen Rowe, a clever transgender teen who is tired of being polite and agreeable, with the charismatic and hard-charging district attorney Harvey Dent. Misha Collins from Supernatural, and the GCPD hot on their trail. Turner will rely on allies including his best friend and formidable coder Stephanie Brown and Allure, and unlikely Batman sidekick Carrie Kelly and Via Robinson. But our knights will soon learn there's a larger, more nefarious force at work within Gotham City. The team of mismatched fugitives must band together to become its next generation of saviors known as the Gotham Knights. Stop it, Jordan. I see what you're doing. It's distracting me. This is, oh my God. I think that the important question there's only one thing we can ask about the show.
Harvey Dent. Can we trust him?
Okay, guys. Get it out of your system. Get it out of your system.
Dude, this is the best show ever. Oh my God, I cannot wait.
And what have you read the script? Have you watched the pilot? What have you seen? What have you actually seen besides this?
Dude, that's the best freaking shot ever.
It is very CW generic. I will agree with that. And it has nothing to do with what the actors look like or what they're doing. It's just this poster. If I just didn't have that logo in there, it could be for any show. Like, they don't even have Wayne, like the tower behind Turner is, I guess it's supposed to be Wayne Enterprises, but they couldn't even put the Wayne Enterprises logo on it. So I was just like, you could have given us something different. But again, I'm challenging you now, sir. What are you basing, what are you actually basing any of your opinions on besides seeing one image and reading a text synopsis?
Multiverse.
No, multiverse. No. Like I'm challenging you. Come on now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the challenge?
I want you to give your honest opinions based on the 0.5% that we've seen from this show. That is this image and this synopsis.
This is going to be me and everybody else who watches that pilot when it airs.
I think that you leave a trail of bodies every damn place that you go.
That's gonna be.
They are framing them for murder, so that would be on point.
That's gonna be Bruce's adopted son to everybody else in the show. He's just gonna run around telling people that. He's also gonna say this.
Suit me up, Uncle Alfred.
Okay.
Oh my God, if Bruce is dead, where the fuck is Alfred up at?
I just played that clip just because it said Alfred and we had Batgirl. Sorry, almost threw my mouth there. That version of Batgirl. Yeah, there's been no mention of Alfred. No mention. Is he dead? I mean, he's
have
dead.
To watch the show to find out.
Oh my God, Okay, so.
No, I'm saying I don't know. I don't know about Alfred. I'm saying just that if we want to get those, if we together as a unit, and all of our viewers want to find that out, you're gonna have to watch the show.
So here's my honest opinion. Okay, honest opinion. Not touching the clip. Is this I think this sounds. The picture is generic as hell. Like you
It
said,
is.
there's no Wayne Tower. They didn't even try to make it seem like they're in Gotham City. They're just on a random street. It's raining and they're just staring at the camera all like moody drama. Like, I don't care. I made a TikTok and Andy saw the TikTok. I said this picture would be more interesting if they were actually in costumes, like suits. Like, I'm assuming they're gonna have suits. They're gonna be if they're the
Yeah.
Gotham Knights. So I don't know why they're making this show because we already had a Bat character who actually is a legit Bat character as Batwoman. I don't know why we're doing a Gotham Knights show. Now, actually, they have a character who becomes Batgirl in the comics, but she's not going to be Batgirl in the show. She's going to become spoiler. That's the assumption. We have a
It was
Robin.
more fun that way, also.
Yeah, we have a Robin, Carrie Kelly. We have Harper Row, but like, it just feels like they looked at Batwoman and went, "This is not what we want. Like, this is too close to Batman. We got to go even less than Batman. Go down to this." Like, it's just like, it's irritating. I would feel different if Titans never existed and this was a show about Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. Like, they actually went that route instead of Titans. They had a show
Like
called
the video game.
Well, maybe, but like if Titans never existed, they would be able to do a more traditional aspect of like the Bat family, because this is not really. It's kind of Bat family, not really. I'm sorry they didn't call it the Bat family, but they can't because some of them are not actually like their original characters, or you give a point.
I mean, it's one original character. All of these characters are from the comic. 2 of them are from the Bat family. Like, don't erase Stephanie Carey's role. Like, this is the first time we're getting Carrie Kelly. Like, besides
I
picture
understand that, but like also at the same time, it's like, why did this show? Like, why did we the whole Batwoman thing? This is their separate thing, but why are they going ahead with like? How did this get greenlit? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I just don't understand it. But maybe we're missing something. Maybe they can't tell us everything that's actually in this show because it would spoil things. So maybe it actually is going to be good. But I don't have faith.
So here's what I will say. Yes, when the show was announced, I was very much thrown off because I felt like we are, but Gotham Knights is essentially what you're already doing on Batwoman and the Gotham Knights essentially, with Luke Fudge, with Sophie, with Mary, they were introducing Renee Montoya, they could have turned into the Question and so on. But this is there's I don't know if Gotham Knights is the full reason why why Batwoman got canceled. There's so many factors that goes into that. But I was thrown up, and I was also a little bit like, this is strange. But the more I've heard about it, what has come out and stuff, and maybe not come out yet, I think it's an interesting group of characters putting together. And here's the thing: hearing just the title Gotham Knight, we knew that it was never going to be Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Robin. Like, we knew that it's just never going to happen. And I think the name choice is smart. I think it's good that they picked this name. I think this is more recognizable because people know, like, yes, this is, because something like Legends Tomorrow, again, this is not a slam on the show, but just more on, like, if you take Legends Tomorrow and you take it to any person on the street, probably 5 out of 10 people are going to know what that show is, because it's not, because those are the invested fans. People who aren't even like big comic readers are probably going to wonder, what is Legends Tomorrow? But with Gotham Knight, like, you can hear it. It is about the Batman universe in various forms and shapes. And here's the thing, like I said last week, for all we know, we'll be watching this next year, and we might be coming back and saying, you know what a good, actually, this was actually a good idea. This is cool, because I like the idea, because I think we have way too much Batman content in general, but I do love the fact that there are these other characters, there are these Bat family characters, and yes, every DC show has always done this, where, like, they do bring in smaller characters. I mean, I know Harper has gotten a little bit bigger in the comics. Columbo, I think, is somewhat a little bit obscure, but that's the point with some of these shows. Not a lot of people knew who Iris West was, or who Killer Frost was, or who Sophie Moore was, or Mary Hamilton, or Luke Fogg. Like, some of these characters, like, people didn't know anything about, and these shows and movies allowed general audiences to get to know them better. So I understand why. I do fully get what people are saying about the adopted song because I felt it would have been just more natural, just since obviously Titans Batman. It doesn't seem like Damian Wayne exists. I think Damian Wayne could have, even though I hate Damian Wayne with a passion, I think it would have been natural for him to lead the show.
Yeah.
And also, that could have also given us a Middle Eastern Robin, we could have actually had, one of the few, people of color in the Bat family actually lead this. I do agree the poster looks so generic. Like it's like, again, I could take out the Gotham Knights logo and just send it to anyone and be like, hey, this is what Riverdale season 8 is gonna look like, and they would believe me because like it looks like any CW show.
It's not interesting. That's the issue. It's not an interesting picture. It's just them standing there in
It's
the
also
rain.
very photoshopped.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.